Peace to you and yours, wherever you may be. I love you continually for free. Francis Ngannou versus the UFC. What does it mean? What is it really all about? Okay, I think it goes without saying that Dana White is a child. You know, he is acting in a childish way. It's not the first time, and this problem that Francis is complaining about, it's not the first time. Even Conor McGregor complained about the same thing. Randy Couture complained about the same thing. Tito complained about the same thing. Many fighters have complained about the same thing when it comes to their pay, the overreaching nature of their contract, the fact that the contracts are predatory. Francis Ngannou's fight is not just for Francis Ngannou. You know, I've cut this video now like 2 times because I just go too long about it, and I don't want to drone on, and I don't want people to check out before they really get to the meat of the issue here. So let me just try to condense this, you know, to in down to the meat of the issue here. The UFC is a $10 billion company. Dana White is worth $500 million, never got punched in the face one time, you know, in the UFC anyway. The UFC does not want the precedent. They don't want certain precedents to be set. So this is a labor issue and an oppression issue that happens and has happened in history in many industries. You know, this is serfism, slaveism. You know, this is the labor unions being, you know, being born out of the Industrial Revolution. This is the I'm trying to think of this one particular union. What is the name of that union? Anyway, we'll come back to it because the time is ticking. Anyway, that is what's going on here. The UFC does not want the precedent. And there's an old saying that you either have to shit or get off the pot. The UFC is going to take this shit, I can guarantee you. And Dana White is a liability to the organization in his attitude, in his language. He's a tyrant. He's a Caesar. He's a Napoleon. He has those complexes. You know what I mean? And he will fiddle while the UFC burns, I can guarantee you. And it's only a matter of time before the Me Too movement of people who have been abused by Dana White really comes out. And it's going to seriously hurt that brand. There's the perception that Dana White is the boss. Dana White is not the boss. Dana White is the face of the organization. The UFC has been bought by a parent company, and whoever or whomever, however many people that is, are at the upper echelon of that parent company. Those folks are the boss or bosses of Dana White. And the fact that Dana White's manager, not Dana White's manager, Francis Ngannou's manager, he got the goods on Dana White. I promise you he's got the goods, man. I promise you he's got emails with Dana White's name on them, sent from Dana White. He's got text messages sent from Dana White. He's got recorded phone calls from Dana White that have racist content. I promise you he has that in there, man. Because he more or less inferred that he had some. Now, he didn't infer. He straight up said that he had some communications that if they came out would be very damaging to the organization. My belief is that it is not just I'm better than you because I'm the boss. My belief is it's going to be some racial stuff. And the stuff that was sent recently to him through an anonymous text message, me personally, I believe it came from Dana White. And I think the fact that he didn't show up when Ngannou won the fight, he left the arena. He didn't do the press conference. I'm even suspect of the price of the pay-per-view, but my evidence is weak on that, so I'm not going to go too far off into that. But he's a liability to the organization. Francis Ngannou's fight for better contracts and better money is good for everybody in the UFC from here forward. It's not as monumental as, Ali, what Muhammad Ali did, but it's of the same cloth, and Francis's language, his demeanor, is very it's just very good, man. And he just needs to be very careful because they're going to be attacking him really from all sides. What I see going on right now is, as he said, hey, look, in the last 3 years, I fought 2 times, 3 times, something like that, he said. So if I don't fight for a whole year, what difference does it make? If he doesn't fight for a whole year, his contract with the UFC is over. So 2023, he could be free of his contract completely with the UFC. If they were operating in good faith, they would let him go now. They would give him the options that he wants to have. He's got to have these knee surgeries, and he's got, rehab and everything. That's going to be at least 6 months right there, and really, it could be longer than that, but they tried to force him to fight when he didn't want to fight before, and they came up with this sham interim heavyweight championship, and Cyril Gane became that interim heavyweight champion, and they really were counting on Cyril Gane, basically vanquishing Francis Ngannou, but it didn't happen. So Dana had the temper tantrum. So anyway, that's it, guys. I mean, I could go on another 10 minutes easy. I'm telling you, I did it on 2 previous videos, and I'm leaving some points off, but I just want to add my voice, as small as it may be, as small as my platform may be, to not only support for Francis, but for everybody in the MMA, community that provide us with such exciting fights, that they deserve better contracts, more control of their images, of what is put on their back. When when you tell a person, what kind of clothes you can wear, you know, when you tell a person what you can talk about and what you can't talk about, when you tell a person, you know, and I don't care if we're talking about products or, if we're talking about politics, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, when you start controlling people to that extent, that's ridiculous. And I disagree with that. If you work here, you can't work for anybody else. Uh, uh Deal to a certain extent. Um, People have had trouble with they couldn't go do a movie, an 8-week movie, because the UFC uh, wouldn't let them. I mean, that's just ridiculous, man. So I just want to add my voice of support for better contracts, higher pay. Again, it's a $10 billion company. Their value has increased in the last few years, 2.5 times. They sold for $4 billion, and now they're worth $10 billion. And yet the fighter pay has not gone up equal to that. And maybe equal is not fair, but the fighter pay should have increased because these are the people who you're making the money off of. Anyway, love y'all for free. Big up.